Okay, in this class, let us see a few examples on dot product. Okay, right. Now, probably in your 8th or 9th standard, you have studied something called as work done, correct? Work done in physics, right? So, work done, usually we say force multiplied by displacement. Okay, now here, now we are going to see what this actually means when you consider force and displacement as vectors. All right, fine. Now, this is a very common example, a good example where you can actually understand the dot product. All right. Now, what we know about work is that work. Okay. So work, it is a scalar quantity. Okay, it is a scalar quantity, and its unit is joules. Okay, its unit is joules. Right. Scalar quantity and its unit is joules. Right. Now, if you observe this equation, work done is equal to force into displacement. Right. Now, you know that force is a vector, correct? Say F be the force, and displacement is also a vector, correct? It is the shortest distance from the initial point to final point. Okay, so for example, if this is the initial point and this is the final point, no matter how you go, you can go like this, you can go like this, you can go like this. Okay, so whatever be the path, however you travel to the final point from the initial point, the displacement is always given from the initial point to the final point at the shortest distance, right? Now the displacement vector, okay, the displacement vector, it is always from the initial point to the final point. Okay, it is always from the initial point. Its direction, it will be from the initial point towards the final point. So this will be the direction of the displacement as represented by this arrow. So technically displacement is also a vector, right? Now the dot product, right? Now the dot product of F and D. Okay, so we will call it as work. All right, see the dot product of F and D. Now how it works, how to understand it, will take few simple examples. You'll understand, right? Now work done W is defined as the dot product of force and displacement. Okay, now you know what we used to write for A dot B, correct? We used to write A dot B as A, B and cos of angle between them. AB means magnitude of A and magnitude of B multiplied with, multiply both the magnitudes, and also you have to multiply cos of the angle between them. All right, now let us take one simple example. All right, now say this is the ground. Okay, now you have a box, fine, don't worry about the mass of the box or something like that. Say this is you, okay, and you are pulling this box by attaching this to by attaching the box to by tying that box to can call it as some rope or something. Okay, say this is the rope, fine, this is the rope, and you are trying to pull the box, right? So usually if you remember, we will if the box is quite heavy, right, so we will actually take it over our shoulders and we'll try to pull it this way, correct? Yeah, okay, I hope you can see the camera, right? So we'll try to take it over the shoulders like this. We'll try to take it over the shoulders and we'll try to pull it this way. Okay, so try to think something like that. Fine. Now what we can see here is that the force, right? Now the direction of the force F, it is this way, correct? The direction of force is this way. But say when you are applying the force in with an you can clearly see that the force is actually making some angle theta with the ground, correct? It is making some angle with theta with the ground, right? Now say this is the initial position. Okay, this is the initial position. All right, okay, now say this is the initial position of the box. Okay, initial position of the box. Now after some time, okay, after some time, so the box has come here. Okay, box has come here, and you are still applying the same force. Okay, you are still applying the same force by pulling the box with the help of a rope over your shoulder like this. Okay, say there is no change in the force, right? Now this is the call this as the final position. All right, call this as the final position. So what is the displacement now from initial position to final position, right? So this will be a displacement. Okay, now let me write the displacement as this. So this is actually a displacement, correct? Right, now this D, you can call it as a displacement. Now you can treat it as a vector, right? As I told you, it starts from the initial point and ends at the final point. Okay, right. So this is the displacement. Now again the angle throughout the journey. So the journey happened this way from here to here. This was the journey. Okay, the angle between the force and the ground, okay, and the ground level, it did not change, right? You can also take it as, see, what is the direction of your displacement now? Initial point was on the ground, final point was on the, or was also on the ground, right? So if you draw a straight line from initial point to final point, obviously you can see that the displacement vector, right, the displacement vector is actually parallel to the ground. Okay, now you can actually take the angle between the force and displacement to be theta now. Okay, so this is how the force is and this is how your displacement is now. Okay, right, and you can do some shifting. Okay, if you want, you can do some shifting here. So do the shifting, so you can clearly see the angle between force and displacement is actually the same theta, right? Now how to find out work done in this case? Means it's really easy. Now the work done in this case, you can write it as F dot D. Remember, the end result of a scalar, that is dot product or scalar product, is always a scalar, right? So that's why work done, it is actually a scalar quantity. It doesn't have anything to do with direction. Okay, so here you have understood why the result of F dot D is work done and why it is a scalar quantity. Okay, now here the work done, okay, so it can actually be given as FD cos of the angle between F and D. Okay, so that is theta, the same theta, whatever we are writing here. Okay, now let us take an example. All right, now let us take an example. Now say what you are doing is example number 1. Now this is a box. Okay, this is a box and this is the ground. All right, say okay, what you are doing now is you are trying to pull the box so that the force whatever you are applying, okay, the force whatever you are applying, it is parallel to the ground. Okay, or you can say the rope is actually parallel to the ground. All right, now say finally the box will come to this position. Okay, now still you are applying some force here. All right, so the displacement is actually this. Okay, now the displacement happened as this one. Okay, now in this case, the angle between F and D, if you observe, okay, the angle between F and D, if you observe, it is actually 0, right? Now if you try to do the dot product, okay, of F and D, so what we get is, we'll get it as FD cos theta. Now this theta is actually 0. Okay, so cos theta will go to 1. Okay, so technically when theta is 0, we have seen that yesterday, right? So when theta is 0, you will get it as simply the magnitude of F and D. Okay, now if I take the forces, let us give some numerical value. Okay, so say the force is some 3 Newton and displacement is some 3 meter, okay, or some 4 meter. Okay, you are applying 3 Newton on the box and the displacement caused is 4 meter. Then the work done, okay, then the work done, you can simply write it as force, right? 3 magnitude. See, remember we are doing only magnitude. Now displacement is 4. Okay, now what is the work done? 12 joules. Okay, 12 joules is the work done. Now let us take one more example here. Example number 2. Say now you will change the direction of force. Okay, now you will take the rope over your shoulder now. All right, now say this is how you are applying the force. Okay, so say this is you and this is how you are applying force. Okay, now this force, call it as, say it is 3 Newton only. Okay, now it is making an angle of 60 degrees. Okay, the rope is making an angle of 60 degrees with respect to the ground. Okay, and say this is the ground. Now after some time the box has come here. Okay, after some time the box has come here, so this will be its final position, and say this is the displacement D. You know, say the displacement is like some 5 meters. Okay, displacement is, or you can say like 6 meters. Say displacement is 6 meters. Just an example. Okay, now this is initial position. Now this is the final position. Okay, now throughout the journey, the force you applied will not change. That means the magnitude will not change and the direction will not change. Okay, now this is the rope. Okay, the same force of 3 Newton, which is making an angle of 60 degrees with the ground. Okay, so technically it also makes 60 degree with the vector, this with the displacement vector. Okay, now how to find out the work done? It's sorry, it's not a vector. Work done means it's really simple. We just have to do F dot D. So you will get it as F D cos theta. So theta here it is 60. Okay, so you will get it as magnitude of F. What is that? 3 Newton. D is 6 meter. Now cos 60. Okay, cos 60, as you all know, it is actually half, right? Cos 60 is half. So 3 into 6 into half. Okay, so this will be 9 joules. Okay, this will be 9 joules. So this is the work done in this particular case. Okay, this is the work done in this particular case. Okay, so I have explained you in a very brief manner where you can actually apply a scalar product. Okay, so again you will be learning these things once we go to chapter number 6. All right, work, energy and power. All right, fine. So this is where you can, this is where we will use scalar product. Okay, work done is dot product of F and D. You can say dot product or scalar product, anything. All right, fine. Okay. Now next let us go to one more type of vector multiplication. So if you remember, we have two types of vector multiplication, correct? So what was that? The first one is scalar product, otherwise dot product, correct? Scalar product will say, otherwise dot product will say. Now the next one we will be going to do now, so that is called as vector product. Okay, vector product or cross product. Okay, now in scalar product or dot product, so what we saw was the result what you get, okay, after performing dot product. So that is actually a scalar quantity. Example, you just now you saw work done. Work done is a scalar quantity. Now coming to vector product, okay, now when you perform vector product on two vectors, the end result, okay, the end result we will be getting a vector. Okay, we will be getting a vector. All right, now first we will look into what is vector product, how to define cross product, then we'll take some examples. All right, fine. Right, now say you have two vectors. First, for understanding vector product, we have to consider a plane. Okay, consider a plane. So say this is a horizontal plane. A very good example is right now you can imagine the table where you are sitting, the tabletop, otherwise you can imagine the floor. All right, now what you do is consider two vectors which are on the plane. Okay, consider two vectors which are on the plane. Fine, right? So this is vector A. Right, this is vector A and this is some vector B. Okay, now if you want, you can do some shifting. Okay, so shift the vectors, right, so that excuse me, shift the vectors so that they will look like co-initial vectors. Okay, now find out the angle between the vectors. Say theta is the angle between the vector. Okay, theta is the angle between the vector. Now when I say, okay, now you have two vectors and the angle between the vector. All right, now when I say A cross B, okay, now understand this is important. When I say A cross B, okay, so this is how we say. When I say A cross B, what it means is, okay, so we'll define A cross B as, okay, we'll define A cross B as magnitude of A, okay, then magnitude of B, okay, then sine of angle between the vectors. Okay, so if you try to compare with dot product, so what did we write? A dot B is A B cos theta we wrote. Okay, we wrote it as A B cos theta. Fine. Now this is how we define dot product. Okay, now don't write the same cos theta for cross product. All right, it is magnitude of A, magnitude of B and sine of angle between them. Okay, right. Now this magnitude whatever I wrote here, A B sine theta, okay, so this actually represents, okay, this actually represents the magnitude of a vector represents the magnitude of a vector, which is, better to write in your notes, which is perpendicular to the plane, containing A and B. Okay, plane containing vector A and vector B. Alright, I hope you understood. This represents the magnitude of a vector which is perpendicular to the plane containing vector A and B. Alright, because as I told you, the end result, okay, the result of when you perform cross product on two vectors, the result what we get is a vector, and that vector's magnitude is actually given by this AB sine theta. Okay, now where is the vector? Magnitude is given by this AB sine theta. Okay, that is the length of the vector. What is the direction of that vector means? See, here is your direction. It will be perpendicular to containing the plane, perpendicular to the plane containing A and B. Now you can ask, if you consider a plane, you can actually consider two directions which are perpendicular. For example, if I hold this if I hold this plane here, okay, so I have two perpendiculars. So I can imagine a perpendicular like this, and I can imagine a perpendicular like this also. So which one to consider? So for that, we'll actually use something called as the right hand rule. Okay, we'll use something called as the right hand rule. Okay, now what is that right hand rule? Let us try to understand. All right, now when I say A cross B, okay, understand, when you write A first and B next, okay, we'll always say it, or we'll pronounce it as A cross B. Okay, A and B are vectors. Okay, A cross B will say. Fine. Now what you have to do is, you have to hold the four fingers. Okay, you take your right hand. Okay, this is really important. It will help you throughout your 11th and 12th physics. Okay, so, take your right hand, say these four fingers. Okay, so say the four fingers, whatever you have in your right hand, they will, okay, so you have to hold your hand like this. Okay, so these four fingers, they have to point in the direction of A. Okay, remember I have told A cross B. Okay, so A is your first vector. Take A as the first vector. Okay, so this four fingers must point towards A. Okay, then perform take it towards B. When I say A cross B means, you should say this motion as A. Then when I say cross B means, you should turn these four fingers towards the direction of B. Okay, for example, say this is vector A. Okay, take this as vector A. All right, so this is the tip of the vector, this is the tail of the vector, this is the head of the vector, and again you can see both the nibs, I believe. Okay, right, so say this is A, this is vector A, and this is vector B. All right, now you have to take these four fingers along vector A, then you have to cross it. Okay, you are taking it towards B. A cross B. Okay, A cross B. Okay, then in whatever the direction your thumb is pointing, okay, that will give you the cross product of A with B. Okay, that will give you the result of A cross B. Okay, when it is B cross A, you can easily understand that it will be opposite. See, earlier I did A cross B, correct? Now to understand, you just place these pens on the table wherever you are sitting, or on the floor, better. Okay, right, so A cross B is pointing towards you. See, my thumb is pointing towards you. Okay, so you have to imagine these two vectors A and B, they are part of a plane, correct? So they are part of a plane. You have to imagine a plane there, right? Now this vector, which is the result of A cross B, it will be pointing towards you. All right, now when you do B cross A, it is the opposite. See, I did A cross B. When you do B cross A, see, first these four fingers must come in the direction of B. Okay, so B cross A. Okay, when you do B cross A, see, the thumb is actually pointing towards me, correct? So therefore A cross B and B cross A are not the same. All right, fine. Okay, coming back, so AB sine theta represents the magnitude of a vector which is perpendicular to the plane containing A and B. Okay, given by given by the right hand rule. Okay, given by the right hand rule. Okay, now I believe you have used the same right hand rule to find out the magnetic field, correct? To find out the magnetic field when current is given. Okay, so you have actually used in your electromagnetic induction, correct? Electromagnetic induction, yes. So there also you have actually used it, fine. And magnetic effects of electric current when you were studying in your 10th standard, probably. All right, fine. Now, so therefore, when you take A cross B, right? So you can write a vector. Let us say the result, that is the result of A cross B is a vector C, okay? Is a vector C, okay? And this vector C, it is perpendicular to the plane containing A and B, okay? And the direction of C will be given by the right hand rule. Remember, if A cross B is this way, okay? So C is given as A cross B. Okay, C is given as A cross B here. All right. The direction. So you can say you have you can draw two perpendiculars to the plane. So which is the you can say specific perpendicular means it is given by the right hand rule, A cross B. Okay, so just try to keep two pens or something like that, you will understand. All right, fine. So this is how we define cross product. All right, now there are few other things which you need to see about cross product. Okay, so we'll continue in the next class. All right.